Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy, brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. With apple harvest upon us, we visit the next big thing in Virginia agritourism, cideries. Chef John Maxwell creates a corn and crab meat tart in the heart of the home, and the Hunters for the Hungry program is celebrating more than a quarter century of providing a healthy protein option to those in need. Welcome back, everyone. We're coming to you from Castle Hill Cidery in Albemarle County. And you could say that cider is the apple of the craft beverage lover's eye. And cideries are the fastest growing segment of the alcohol beverage industry in Virginia. Hard cider is not new in Virginia. The bubbly tart beverage has been fermented since our founding fathers were around. With the current strong public interest in farm-based beverages, cider making is experiencing a revival.
Virginia has an orcharding history, but also tends to produce really highly flavored apples, which are fantastic for cider because you don't care what the apples look like in cider, you just care about the flavor.
There was just one Virginia hard cidery a decade ago. Today, more than 20 are producing the delicious crisp beverage. In 2011, Castle Hill Cidery in Albemarle County was the third cidery to begin bottling. The land where the cidery sits has been a working farm since 1764, and U.S. presidents and many other dignitaries have visited here. Castle Hill Estate was the first orchard in Albemarle County to plant the historic Albemarle Pippin apple. Those same apples are used in some of its hard ciders today. It's the blend of these heirloom apple varieties that give each cider its unique flavor.
It's a fruit. It's just like wine. So when you taste wine, you taste the complexities of wine. And cider has the same thing. X number of years ago when we started 2010, these other cideries started earlier, is finding quality apples, is defining these heritage type of apples to produce because they just weren't out there. And it can't just grow them overnight.
Most Virginia cideries purchase apples from other growers in the state as well as grow cider apples on their property. The wide variety of flavor is what draws hard cider fans back for more each year. Most cideries also have an on-site tasting room, making them perfect destinations for a weekend trip to the country.
We get a really big mix. People in our cider club, many are local, but some are people who stop by and want to stay in touch and stay connected with the cider. I mean, I definitely think a lot of our customers are interested in agriculture and in the connection between the land and their food, and it sort of, you know, having a sense of the land really producing food and drink more than just kind of a sense that it comes out of a factory.
The demand for Virginia cider is growing as fast as the apple trees dotting the countryside, and more cideries are coming online. A new one in Norton in the former coal fields of Southwest Virginia will have a production facility and restaurant at the site of a former auto dealership. The cidery will not only create jobs, but will increase demand for fresh, locally grown Virginia apples.
These apples are available and are excellent quality within Virginia. And we can have these on site in a very short time. There's no worries about extended transportation, which could hurt freshness of the product. So the closer we can get these apples to us, the better. We are picky what we're looking for, but Virginia has lots to offer. We can get the quality we need and have it closer to home.
The Sugar Hill Cidery is receiving almost $500,000 in grant money from the Virginia Agriculture and Forestry Industries Development Fund to help open its doors. It's an investment by the state of Virginia into a business that has roots and has tremendous growth potential for the region.
I think it's going to mean a lot economically to Norton because we're going to be bringing in dozens of jobs In addition to the increased traffic we're hoping to bring to the town with our cider and our food, we're just really hoping to add to that community to help grow with the vision of the town.
The Cider Market Trends Report for 2017 estimates regional and local cider brands, rather than national ones, are driving the increase in sales of hard cider nationwide. In the past few years, sales of Virginia cider have increased by 52% to more than 416,000 cases in 2016.
It is exponentially grown quickly just in the last 2 to 4 years. And so I can see it growing. People, again, it's a fun, exciting business to be in, and you're creating something from a fruit that is delicious.
Cideries are located across Virginia. If you'd like to taste some right from the tree, visit one during Virginia's Cider Week, November 9th to the 18th.
Virginia is the nation's 6th largest apple-producing state. After decades of decline, the number of Virginia farms with apple orchards increased in the past 5 years, from 626 to 733. The great majority of apple orchards are small, less than 5 acres, but there are still about 20 apple orchards in the Old Dominion larger than 100 acres. The Piedmont and mountain regions are where most apples are raised for processing into juice and sauce. But fresh fruit apple trees grow across the state. A 5-year average value of Virginia's apple harvest is about $31 million.
I'm Mark Viette. Coming up on In the Garden, I'm going to talk about what you can do with your leftover amaryllis bulbs. Stay with us.
Farm Bureau is the insurance provider of choice for farmers. But did you know all Virginians can benefit? In fact, most of our members are not farmers. Members may take advantage of discounts on selected autos, trucks, mowers, and tractors on top of the many insurance offerings. Your $40 membership will easily pay for itself with our many savings options as well. Farm Bureau is made for Virginians. To learn more about the membership advantage, go to vafb.com or visit your local Farm Bureau.
Amaryllis are popular winter indoor houseplants, but Mark Viette says you can grow these bulb-based plants outdoors all year long in the garden.
Many of us are familiar with amaryllis, especially during the holiday season. Maybe we were given an amaryllis as a Christmas gift. Most of them are red, but there's whites, there's pinks, there's oranges, all different colors. And it's usually during the winter months we're either given a bulb in a container with soil. Could also be a bulb grown hydroponically in water. What do you do with them when they finish blooming? Well, you just keep them in that pot till spring. After threat of cold weather, you can put them outdoors when it's above 45 or 50 degrees at night. Some people plant them in a garden, some people put them in containers. And you grow them all season long. Beautiful, nice foliage that you see here. Then sometime in September, what you can do is dig them up. You're going to start the whole process of getting them to bloom again for you. And so, in September, we're going to come in here and we're going to dig these amaryllis. A little bit of a workout. You're going to see really nice roots. Now these plants are normally grown in Brazil, Peru, Israel. They're grown in Brazil and Peru in the warm weathers conditions. They're usually grown for about 18 months, but this is what you end up with. Let me show you what to do with these next. Once you've grown your amaryllis outdoors, either on a patio, in a container, or in the garden, till September, and once you've dug them up, You then can trim the roots just a little bit. Then, here's a great way to get your frustrations out. You need to trim back your amaryllis about an inch above where the neck narrows on your bulb. Then you're ready to dry this off. Put this in a dry area on its side, 75, 85 degrees, and you dry it for about 6 to 8 weeks. Then, sometime in November, second week in November, you repot it, or you put it back in water, just with enough water to cover the bottom of the roots, not the bulb itself. 6 weeks later, it'll bloom for you for the holidays. There is one thing you can do with this bulb. If you're drying a lot of them, you want to see how well this bulb's going to produce. In fact, I've gone to Brazil a couple times to do field tests on this. All of you may not want to do this, but you come crossways against where the leaves were. So you come in here, take a sharp knife, and you cut it in half, just like this. You can actually come in and remove part of this amaryllis, and it's what we do to test that they bloom. And here is the bud, and this one here has 1, 2, 3 blooms. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
Virginia crab meat is world famous. Chef John Maxwell combines crab with sweet corn for a delicious dish next in the heart of the home.
The State Fair of Virginia is known for its family-friendly atmosphere, exciting attractions, and, of course, fabulous fair food. The most important focus continues to be youth and adult livestock competitions, and dozens of competitions where other Virginians can win a coveted State Fair blue ribbon. Everything from prize vegetables to baked goods to crafts and photography are featured each year as the best of the best. The 2018 State Fair of Virginia runs September 28th to October 7th at Meadow Event Park in Caroline County. Visit statefairva.org to learn more.
Looking for a unique way to serve Virginia crab? Chef Maxwell has a recipe for what he calls the best of Virginia in a tart in the heart of the home.
Hi, welcome to the Heart of the Home. I'm Chef John Maxwell, and we're here at Meadow Hall in Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia, where every week we get a chance to play with some great Virginia food. Today, we've got Virginia in a pie. This is really, really nice. I'm making a crab and ham tart. So, it is wonderful on the palate, and it's relatively easy to make. So we're going to start out with a couple of eggs. We're going to put those into this bowl, and I'm going to use a fork to mix them up. Now, the actual recipe is on the website. I'm making enough to fill 2 tart shells, but the recipe on the website has enough to make 6. All right. So now I've got that. I'm going to add some nice local heavy cream. Virginia's got great dairies. All right. Get that mixed up. I'm going to add some Asiago cheese. You could use Parmesan cheese if you wanted, any kind of grated cheese, but I think you'd be better off not with a cheddar or something hard color. Just something that blends in nice. I'm adding the Asiago. And again, Virginia's got great dairy. You can get all of this stuff from Virginia. I'm going to add a little bit of corn nibblets. Now, this is a beautiful time of year for corn. It's high, it's fresh, it's gorgeous. All right. Get that all mixed up. I'm going to add a little bit of sherry wine. Now, if you don't want to put alcohol in this, it's perfectly all right. There are some non-alcoholic things, but you want a little bit of acid to help balance that out. Again, crab and sherry is really good, but If you want a different alcohol, rum is good too. All right, so now I'm going to start with these. I'm going to take a little bit of the ham. Now this is a good Smithfield ham. And Smithfield is a place, not necessarily a company, although there's companies. This is a salt-cured ham. It's robust in its flavor. It's beautiful stuff. All right, and I'm going to add some chives. In there. Chives have a tendency to float in the egg mix, so I put it in there so that the crab meat, when I put it in, will hold it in place until it starts to bake. And I've got two different kinds of crab meat here. I've got back fin crab meat, which everybody's pretty much familiar with, and I've got claw crab meat. Now claw crab meat, you can see the difference in the color here. Claw crab meat is a little bit darker, it's grayer, and the back fin is more white. Right? They both have really big flavor. Right? The claw meat is a bit more robust, but not as refined as the back fin. So I like to use the claw meat to help build the flavor in something like this. So I'm going to put some of the claw meat down in each of these. And then a little bit of the back fin in each of these. Now I'm going to take the milk and the cream mix. I want to make sure that I get plenty of that corn in there. And so I'm going to use a spoon to kind of spoon that in there to make sure that I got a good distribution of the corn. If I put the corn in before I put the milk in, it'll have a tendency to float to the top, and I don't want that to happen. So the cheese and the heavier cream causes it to stay in suspension better. So now I'm going to bake this at about 350 degrees. And into the oven it goes. These just came out of the oven, so I'm not sure I can get them out of the pan without breaking the crust, but I'm going to try it. This is a corn, crab, and ham tart, Virginia in a pie. So join us next week on Heart of the Home, where we get to play with great Virginia food.
Recipes from the heart of the home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com, as well as on Chef Maxwell's website at chefjohnmaxwell.com. The blue crab is the most valuable seafood harvested each year from the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Approximately 147 million female adult crabs are estimated to be present at the start of the 2018 crabbing season. That's lower than the target population of 250 million spawning-age she crabs, but well above the minimum level of 70 million crabs needed for a healthy fishery. Scientists say at this time the blue crab is not being over-harvested. Harvest limits are set each season by the states of Maryland and Virginia and the Potomac River Fisheries Commission.
You're going to need me. You're going to need all of us. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Virginia's deer population is estimated to be at almost 1 million animals and growing. As Dave Miller reports, for 26 years, a local charity has been connecting hunters with food banks to help those less fortunate.
White-tailed deer are everywhere in Virginia, not just in the forest. You see them by the side of the road at dusk, in the country, and in suburbia. They're even present in some cities like Lynchburg. They consume valuable crops and landscape plants and often pose a traffic hazard. The only effective way to control the deer population is hunting. Hunters for the Hungry was formed to benefit deer hunters, landowners, and less fortunate Virginians.
What we do at Hunters for the Hungry is encourage hunters, farmers, and deer management personnel to donate deer to us. We pay professional meat cutters to cut, wrap, and freeze the meat, and then it's given to people who are hungry through local food banks, church food pantries, and soup kitchens. We have, since we started in 1991, been able to provide 26.6 million quarter-pound servings of venison through the generosity of farmers and hunters donating to us. Throughout the growing season, farmers are issued kill permits because of damage. If they are having and can show the game department that they are having significant damage to their crops, they can apply for these damage permits, which allows them to take deer outside of the regular hunting season. And that's a great benefit to us if they will take the time to donate those deer to the program.
The Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, which sets deer harvest limits each season, is a fan of Hunters for the Hungry. In 2016, the state began offering a way to donate to Hunters for the Hungry on the hunting license application. Over the last 5 years, it has sent more than $100,000 to their organization. That option and a social media campaign have helped boost donations to the group.
We work with farmers a lot as well. Actually, I grew up on a farm years ago and am very passionate about helping our small farmers, especially in Virginia, but all farmers throughout the Commonwealth. And we help them in terms of obviously habitat, but also any time of help that they may need with their crops. We obviously want to manage the wildlife to avoid any kind of crop damage and make sure that we're providing help and assistance with them for that reason. And then working with them in terms of, again, sometimes providing access to hunters that don't otherwise have a place to go, farmers who may need some help, helping manage the deer population in Virginia. They step up and provide that access as well.
One processed deer can provide up to 200 quarter-pound servings of venison, a healthy meat rich with protein. Hunters for the Hungry has helped process more than 26.6 million quarter-pound servings of venison over the past 26 years. Groups like the Virginia Hunters Education Association include Hunters for the Hungry in their curriculum, and hunting instructors like J.C. Gately volunteer for the organization as well. Gately says farmers can help Hunters for the Hungry by allowing nuisance deer to be harvested from their land.
Farmers allow us to come onto their property, hunt and harvest those deer, and then process those deer so that they can be used in our programs at our processing and distribution points.
Over the years, many county Farm Bureau organizations have made financial donations to Hunters for the Hungry. One county Farm Bureau even kept a trailer ready to collect deer harvested out of season. Other outdoor organizations throughout the Commonwealth also support Hunters for the Hungry. In fact, it would be hard to find a hunter or a farmer in Virginia that doesn't view Hunters for the Hungry in a positive light.
As beautiful as deer are, they can be very destructive. And it's not a matter of us versus them, it's us managing them. And in the process of being able to manage them effectively, it's utilizing them in a way that benefits everyone. The landowner benefits from it, the hunter benefits from it, and the larger community benefits from it.
You know, nobody wants to see anything go to waste. My daddy said 1,000,000 times when I was growing up, waste not, want not.
Hunters are not the only folks who can support the Hunters for the Hungry program. Financial donations to pay for processing the meat are more valuable than more animals. To learn more about Hunters for the Hungry, visit their website at hforhungry.org or check the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries website as well. In Henrico County, Virginia, I'm Dave Miller.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.